Hello everyone, it's Blaze, and welcome to another game theory about Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Now, this was released, I'm pretty sure, the same day as the final trailer for Chapter 4 was announced. Basically confirming the main villain, the Doctor, which is Harley Sawyer, and I'm honestly so excited for Chapter 4 Poppy Playtime. I played through Chapter 3 on my gaming channel during Horror Month not too long ago, so go check all that stuff out. Links are always in the description and in the eye, so I wonder what their theory for this video is going to be. So with that delay, let's just start this thing.
Poppy Playtime's Chapter 4 ARG is over, and as a reward for solving all the puzzles, we got nothing. No new character,
Pretty much.
no new trailer, not even a release date. Was this all just a pointless
Like I said, they released it the same day that trailer of the announcement. Oh man, I cannot speak. But they posted this on the same day the day got confirmed.
Decides to keep us fans busy? No, because the information we got throughout the ARG paints a much better picture of what we can expect from Chapter 4, and how our main villain became the monster we know today. All it takes is one bad day.
The Joker? I didn't know the Joker was in
Internet.
Poppy Playtime.
Welcome to Game Theory, the show that's always keeping an eye out for Poppy lore. So you can bet that I was watching the Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 ARG very closely. And I have to say, the ending of this ARG felt rather unceremonious. At the end of Chapter 3's ARG, we got a teaser for the Smiling Critters cartoon and a news report on their cancellation, which gave us theorists
I forgot about that.
bunch to talk about. But this time, we got nothing. So much nothing, in fact, that the only reason we really knew the ARG was over was because the devs took to Discord and said, "Thanks for playing." Guys, please. I know I joked about this last time, but you've gotta stop breaking the fourth wall to give us information like this. Let your content speak for itself. And if it doesn't, then
I do agree with that.
That's something you need to look into.
I agree with
Since then,
that.
we did get a short showing off a new character that was found
Pianosaurus.
early on in the ARG.
It's funny how that character's name was just a fan-made name, and then they just say, screw it, we're going to make it its official name. I have no clue how accurate that is, but if it is, oh, I love that so much.
Pianosaurus. But it doesn't really give us a whole lot to work with. Hey, Future Tom here, and apologies if my voice sounds a little bit off. I've been sick this week, but that didn't stop Mob from once again releasing something new the week our video goes live. I'll talk about this specific teaser a little bit later on, though it doesn't really change a whole lot, but I wanted to let you know that I've seen it. I'm not ignoring it. It's just that this script and the whole premise was written 3 weeks ago. Right, back to past me. However, it's out of the ashes of disappointment that theories rise. We may not have gotten a new full trailer, but I still haven't done a theory on the previous teaser that was released. Similar to the Pianosaurus teaser, at the time it didn't really feel like there was much to say about it. But now, thanks to everything we've uncovered through this ARG, there's actually a lot more beneath the surface of this 2-minute teaser.
Tell me.
It's time for another
me that.
ride down into the depths, theorists. We've got some new backstories for our primary villains to uncover.
I will say the editing on these videos, they come out every week on multiple different channels. Chef's kiss, like straight up to the editors of Game Theory and all the other theory channels. You guys do a great work, like no joke. Like hats off to you. You guys do a great job.
A bunch of interesting references to decipher, and an unlikely ally to put our faith in if we want to make it out alive. I'd say grab your
wonder who
plushie
that
for
is.
comfort, but that may not be wise down here. In case you missed it, here's
Well,
how
I
the
have
teaser
certain
goes
plushies that
down.
are safe.
Get it? Because it starts with a lift going down. Yes, we say lift in the UK instead of elevator. Just forget it. After traveling down, we see more mountains of dead toys, like we did in the first teaser, as someone walks through the darkness with their grab pack and a flashlight.
That's us.
We see the red smoke being pumped through the pipes and into the prison cells, while a mysterious creature stalks us, killing a little nightmare critter Poe in the process.
No.
Finally, we end up in the main hall as a TV with a realistic eyeball watches us, only to hear a broken song play, like one you'd hear from an old forgotten toy. We turn around and reveal a lion made of yarn, Yarnaby. You may remember we spoke about Yarnaby in our last video. It was one of the trademarked names submitted by Mob Entertainment, alongside the name Doughy the Doughman.
So there's actually still a character that is yet to be revealed, and it's theorized that he wears a little top hat. Could that be Doughy the Doughman? He wears a little blue top hat. Huh. I forgot his name, but I did not forgot exactly what that was. But either way, I wonder if that's the hidden character that might be our ally.
Sorry, I still can't really believe that's the name they went with.
It
Anyway,
is.
in that episode, we theorized that Harley Sawyer, the man responsible for the Bigger Bodies initiative, had been turned into a bigger body himself, finally escaping the mortal flesh that would incinerate him.
It's now
And
the
that meant
Doctor.
that he was either going to be Yarnaby or Doughy the Dough Man.
Nope, it's
My
the
money
Doctor.
was on Doughy, and according to the poll we took at the end of the episode, nearly 200,000 of you agreed with me, while 100,000 of you felt like Yarnaby was more likely. Well, here's Yarnaby.
Well, like in that video, when I believe I reacted to that one as well. Basically, the time that video was posted, we already confirmed who Yarnaby was supposed to be. So, yeah, that's a little misleading.
Let's see who was right. This is where the ARG really comes in. I'm not going to go through every puzzle this time, mainly because it's actually quite complicated. And sadly, the website is gone now, so there's
man,
no
that
way
sucks.
for you to use this as a guide so you can play along.
Why'd
for
they delete the
yourselves.
website?
If you
That was a
do
fun.
want a more in-depth breakdown of the puzzles, I highly recommend you check out the Poppy Playtime Discord, where a lot of these solutions were first discovered.
I am
But
on the
early in
Discord. It's
ARG,
fun.
There were some real-world coordinates hidden in camera feed audio. YouTuber Sheep Rampage happened to be relatively close to one of these locations, and once they got there, found a Huggy doll sewn together with yarn, containing 2.
I do wonder where the other ones were, because if I remember correctly, there was apparently 3 locations, but I don't know exactly where the other 2 are, or if they even got leaked or something. I don't know.
Documents. These were child assessment documents, like the ones we found in Chapter 2, where a child would be paired with a toy for their eventual conversion. The toy from these experiments was yarn.
I'm just glad a YouTuber was able to find it, because if it was anyone else, they would keep it for themselves.
With the second document referring to him specifically as Experiment 1166. In another set of documents, we get reports about 1166 after the Bigger Bodies conversion process, one of which is about how Yarnaby lacks the desired high cognitive function, making him more akin to a dog or a cat, with the final decision being for it to essentially become a guard dog for the person writing the report. Harley Sawyer. Sound the bells of celebration, editor! I called it! Harley Sawyer did not
Such an
become
annoying
Yarnaby.
bell.
And given that Yarnaby has been revealed in this second teaser rather than the final trailer like Catnap was, I don't believe he's going to be our big bad
Nope,
either.
it's the Doctor.
Instead, he's going to be the lapdog for the real big bad, his master, Harley. Now, that doesn't mean we're done with Yarnaby. There's been a lot of importance put on him and his character during this ARG, just like in Chapter
basically the
3's
second
ARG
main
with
villain.
Catnap. In that ARG, we found out that the human identity of Catnap was an orphan named Theodore. In the Chapter 4 ARG, we are now being given the human identity of Yarnaby, Quinn Navidson, a young orphan boy who Harley Sawyer took personal interest in. His initial test scores that we see were fine. Nothing great, but nothing bad either. This is where Harley stepped in and tried to relate to Quinn, talking to him about how the other scientists just don't understand Quinn like he does, trying to push him to do better in the next assessment. And it works. Partially. His physical skills do increase, but his mental functioning and musical memory gets worse, which matches what we end up seeing in Harley's report about Yarnaby. Strong, agile, swift. And yet, I'd hoped for a greater mind behind it.
I could have sworn he was actually really smart. Was I wrong about that? I could have sworn his original assessment says he was really smart.
Later on in the ARG, Harley gained access to an email address and people began communicating with him directly. When asked about Yarnaby, his response was pathetic. Amusing, but pathetic.
Wow.
Harley sees Quinn as nothing more than an amusing plaything, something to be manipulated. And when that manipulation didn't work out fully the first time, he then proceeded to manipulate him further by isolating Yarnaby so that he would answer to no one but himself. Which brings up an interesting point about this recent teaser. And the very start of this teaser, as we head down the elevator, you can hear the final words of Poppy from the end of Chapter 3. However, they're distant, as if they're coming from a different part of the factory. At the end of Chapter 3, we were standing right
now. I wonder if Yarnaby was the one who killed Kissy, because we theorized it was probably the prototype, but now I'm wondering if Yarnaby maybe? Oh no, maybe not. I don't know. I wonder who did kill Missy.
next to Poppy.
We're coming! Just hold on! Missy!
It would would be weird for it to sound this different if this was meant to be the same elevator shaft, which means this teaser isn't from our normal player character's perspective, but someone else's.
That is
Who this new
that's
person
terrible.
is felt unclear
That's
until
dumb.
those details about Yarnaby came to light. Yarnaby was the guard dog for Harley. He was loyal to Harley. And what happens when Yarnaby sees this person at the front desk? Or more importantly, what doesn't he do? He doesn't attack. Sure, he opens his mouth and reveals his creepy alien second mouth, but he's not pulling a Huggy or a Mummy or a Catnap and ripping us to pieces. If anything, he's actually being nice to us. He brought us a gift. Up on the monitor behind the desk is the Poe toy that we saw Yarnaby kill earlier, like a cat.
Yeah, sadly, this theory is starting to fall apart because, like I said, the Doctor trailer was revealed the same day this was posted, so this entire theory is unraveling just from that one trailer.
Bringing a bird that it caught to its owner as a present. If Yarnaby is like a pet, then that would mean he's presenting this to his master, the point of view we're seeing from Harley Sawyer. And this is where Future Tom comes back in again, because this new teaser does seem to suggest that while I was right about Harley not being Yarnaby, I wasn't exactly right about it being Doey either. So sorry, Future Jerica, there's a little more for you to edit now.
Or Jerica.
Hey, don't look at me. It's not my fault. Blame Mob Games for releasing new stuff every single week. Anyway, in this new
It's also
teaser,
your fault
we
for
see
taking
a
so much time to
humanoid
do
robotic
this.
hand reach for a catnap toy. And then the eye that we saw in the monitor of the Yarnaby teaser flashes on screen. When Mob tweeted about this teaser, they used the phrase, "Someone's been watching your every move." Last time, we spoke about how Harley is the one that's been watching us, recapping chapters 1 through 3 on the Mob Entertainment YouTube channel. And so that means this eye, and likely hand, belongs to him, implying that he's less of a
It is the
traditional
Doctor.
toy bigger body and more like a digitized computer entity with a robotic body that he can use to interact with the world.
First time.
So the Yarnaby teaser can still be from
I'm sure
Harley's
I
perspective.
blocked it, but Gregor was right behind me.
It's just his humanoid robot form we're seeing through, rather than his all-seeing eye computer view through security cameras and screens. And that would explain further why the Poe toy was presented on top of the computer rather than
that
on the
makes
front
sense.
desk. Yarnaby was giving it to his master directly. So Yarnaby wasn't right, but neither was Doey, so I guess we'll call this one a draw. What is fascinating about all of this, though, is the complete juxtaposition we get between Yarnaby and Catnap from these ARGs. As a quick reminder, in Chapter 3's ARG, we were introduced to Theodore, the orphan that would eventually become Catnap. We received a number of documents throughout the ARG that told us that Theodore was a little bit of an odd child. He was antisocial and seemed to have an imaginary friend that turned out to not be so imaginary. A drawing
Yeah,
of
poor
his
Theodore.
revealed it to be 1006, the prototype. And they had Theodore looking through the office for documents, stealing a grab pack, and trying to help 1006 reach freedom. Sadly, during that escape attempt, Theodore was badly injured. But instead of running away, 1006 took Theodore to the Playtime Coast scientists in order to save him. 1006 was recaptured, and Theodore became Catnap.
Or
But
Theodore.
inside their cage, 1006 and Catnap stick together, with Catnap following 1006 like a, quote, lost puppy. Now, look
But
at what
he's
we
a
learn
cat.
about Quinn. He's an antisocial kid with some strange tendencies, like ripping the heads off of toys. He's approached by Harley, who manipulates him into helping him create a better, bigger body. But the experiment doesn't go as planned, and he is deemed a pathetic failure. Harley continues to act like he cares about Yarnaby, but according
Oh,
to Dr.
similarities.
Carmine in one of
Nice.
the reports, he really doesn't, leaving Yarnaby sad and alone, waiting for his master to come home like a lost puppy. In
Aw,
both
poor
cases, an
Yarnaby.
authority figure takes an interest in a specific orphan with antisocial tendencies. They then convince that orphan to work with them to achieve their desired goal. The goal doesn't go as planned, and in the end, the kid gets turned into a bigger body, becoming obsessed with the authority figure and their approval. However, the key
Little weird.
difference comes down to these authority figures' motives and how they react when things go awry. 1006 wasn't trying to hurt anyone, they just wanted to be free, and so influenced Theodore to help it escape. When things went south, it sacrificed itself to save Theodore. Harley, on the other hand, wasn't afraid of
So that makes me wonder, is the prototype a villain or a good guy, actually? Because we always just assume, like, oh, he's just the main villain of the entire series. But honestly, with that, he sacrificed his freedom to save Theodore. If he was truly bad, he would have left Theodore to die. So is the prototype the good or bad guy? Because from how this is seen, Harley Sawyer is the true main villain of the entire series and not the prototype. Huh. Very interesting theories.
of hurting people to get what he wants. And once Quinn was turned into Yarnaby and was deemed a failure, Harley lost interest and mocked him. Now, to be fair, 1006 does end up betraying
Oh, yeah,
Catnap
duh.
in the end. I mean, who could forget that?
I did.
But here, we're being shown that if we felt that was bad, Harley is much worse because
boy.
he never cared to begin with. He doesn't have any empathy. All he's pursuing is his selfish desire for progress. And actually, this part of Sawyer's personality is front and center throughout the entire ARG. One of the first pieces of evidence we got for this thing was a poster for the Young Geniuses program, an initiative started by Elliot Ludwig to gather the greatest minds of the generation to help Playtime Co. be at the forefront of innovation. Turns out, Harley was one of those bright minds selected for the program.
Oh, poor Elliot.
Actually takes a special interest in Harley, saying he was the kind of person that could lead the science of the future.
So Elliot is the true main villain, I guess, because he made Harley Sawyer, who did all of this. Damn you, Elliot.
Though as time goes on, Elliot realizes that Harley's only concern is progress for progress's sake, rather than for the betterment of mankind, which Elliot believes is the true key to driving scientific progress. This then leads Elliot to kick Harley out of the program, and as you might imagine, Harley doesn't take this so well. We found an image of some distorted, torn-up paper, creating what looked like the silhouette of a jester, maybe a new character from Chapter 4, maybe Dowie? Anyway, by separating the image into its color layers and desaturating them, we can see a much more clear message being written. He took everything. I thought you cared. Nobody cares. Nobody understands. Elliot Ludwig is
Really
a
wonder how you
soft,
do that.
pathetic, small-minded backstabber. Nothing more. Despite all of this, as we know, Harley does eventually come back to Playtime Co. to start the Bigger Bodies initiative. We even found his offer letter from Leif Pierre and the search Playtime Co. did to track down old members of the Young Geniuses program. Because of course the shady company keeps all your personal information on file after all these years. And
of
this
course
was the
they do.
80s. Could you imagine how hard it would be trying to get them to remove that information? Although it's not that much easier now than it was back then. Even with the internet, it can still take years to manually
Is this
chase
an
down
ad?
all of the shady data brokers and get them to let go of your data. Thankfully, unlike Playtime Co., we've got the sponsor of today's
Skip.
video. Well, something had changed within him. Something was not the same. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. But it wasn't the new
Really?
perspective Elliot was hoping for. Instead, Harley's picked up a new mantra. Notes from the employees about Harley show us that he liked to remind them regularly that they were all just one bad day away from catastrophe. This phrase is actually repeated a bunch
So he is the Joker then. Not sure how I feel about that. Is he wearing clown makeup as well?
of times because it's later used as a password to access some of the ARG documents. But to my nerdy brain, it was a little more than that, because it isn't just any phrase. This phrase comes specifically from the 1988 Batman graphic novel, The Killing Joke. The plot of this story initially follows a man who fails as a comedian, loses his wife and unborn child in an accident, and then jumps into a chemical waste chute to escape Batman during a heist gone wrong. All those things happen in a single day, and it drives him insane, with the chemicals he dives into turning his skin white, his lips red, and his hair green, creating the Joker we all know today. In the present day, the Joker proceeds to kidnap Commissioner Gordon, attempting to drive him insane, so that he can prove to Batman that all it takes to make someone like him is just one bad day.
That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day.
The problem is, Joker is using this phrase after the fact, after his bad day turned him into the Joker. So for Harley to be reciting this mantra now in more recent times, it would imply that he has already gone insane. That him losing his place in the Young Geniuses program,
probably has.
Elliot's betrayal, that was the one bad day that pushed him over the edge. And looking back at that note we saw of him not taking the news particularly well, yeah, that kind of tracks. It reads very Joker-ish. And actually a lot of his actions do seem to line up with certain iterations of the Joker. Harley starting the Bigger Bodies initiative is already an insane idea, but it meant he could continue to chase progress for the sake of progress.
I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. You know, I just do things.
In that same scene, Joker refers to people in authority like
Such a good
Gordon
movie.
as schemers that need to be shown how pathetic they are, and that he is the one to do it. Again, Harley regularly sees the people around him as pathetic, those with ideals, dreams, or even just less intellect. He considers soft and getting in his way. You can see it with how Harley treats Quinn. I keep wanting to say Harley Quinn. That's like, I can't believe that's just occurred to me.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I just realized the same thing as he just. Oh my. Oh, it makes more sense. Joker abuses Harley so much in every iteration they are in, and oh my gosh. Oh, that actually got me. Wow. That is a wow.
Sorry, I'm in the recording booth literally right now. This isn't scripted, but we have Harley and Quinn.
Oh my-
Harley
What? What the fuck?
Quinn. Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, this makes so much sense, and it really ties together this Joker thing. Sorry, I'm
Whoever is on the staff in Modern Entertainment really loves Batman, apparently.
probably getting ahead of myself a little bit. For those of you who don't know, Harley Quinn is Joker's sidekick that he turns from a normal member of society into a monster. Sounds familiar,
Oh
right?
my
But while
gosh.
she loves the Joker, to him, at least in some interpretations, she is more like a pet, another pawn that he can abuse and use to further his
Oh
own
my gosh,
goals. Exactly like we saw
Oh
with
my gosh.
Harley's relationship
This is
to
so
Quinn.
accurate.
And in typical Joker fashion, all of this culminates in one insane grand finale. At one point during the ARG, players were able to unlock a new page that
Oh my gosh,
displayed
this
a
is
set of
crazy good.
nonsensical sentences. He asked if I still dream. Why? This changes nothing. A broken leash. Caskets. I do. What became of her? Theater incident. Still. It's strange the things that linger. Quickly, people began to notice that theater incident was hyperlinked, and that gave them a zip folder containing a number of burnt items, like a theater projector, a Huggy doll, and a candy cat. And right at the end of the ARG, we got to hear a conversation between some of the higher-ups at Playtime Co. discussing an incident, which is heavily implied to be the same theater incident. The crux of the conversation is whose head's on the chopping block for this incident.
Harley Sawyer.
Half-wit, soon-to-be dead man, made this mistake.
Finally, it's revealed that it was Harley Sawyer that caused it. And in a second version of this recording, there was some audio that, when put through a spectrogram, gave us what appeared to be ancient Greek, spelling the words, the baptism of fire. We
Ooh,
spoke
what's
last
that
time
mean?
about how Harley sees mortality as a fire that we must escape. So him being insane and acting upon it in a
Yep.
literal sense, baptizing everyone
That is
with
Joker.
a fire in the theater, all as part of his grand idea of progress, it fits the bill quite nicely. Harley is Poppy Playtime's version of the Joker. All
Very.
it took was one bad day. So how on earth
This
do we
makes no
stop
sense,
him?
but I love
Joker
it.
is notoriously one of Batman's most dangerous villains, and now we've been shown how one bad day has made Harley the most dangerous enemy in Poppy Playtime. He's smart, he's unpredictable, he's a loose cannon. He doesn't care who he hurts to prove his point. And unlike Batman, we don't have the infinite money glitch or toy repellent bat spray.
Pretty
Well,
much.
Don't worry, loyal theorists, because the solution might just come from
Grab
an
pack?
unlikely ally. Earlier I mentioned that Harley Sawyer gained access to an email address in order to communicate with us directly, but that wasn't how it initially started. When we started this ARG, the email address was just a generic automated message. At the same time, we were receiving intel from someone on the Poppy Playtime Discord with the username Playtime Co. They were feeding us clues that looked like computer commands that would help us gain access to the files for the ARG, leading
Oh,
us
we
to
helped
all this
Harley.
information about Harley's
We helped
backstory.
Harley.
That was until the Playtime Co informant realizes that we had been compromised and that the email address had been taken over by Harley. Eventually, they do end up losing control of that Discord account as well, and the account profile image became the eye that we saw in the teaser, warning us to stay away. This informant, before they lost control, was trying to show us who Harley was, how dangerous he truly is. They want to help us,
Oh
and
my
I suspect
gosh,
we're
this
going
is
to need
crazy
to trust
cool.
them if we want to beat Harley. But who is them? Is it Barbar? I predicted last time that they are likely going to be an ally in this chapter, and I still think that's true, but I don't think it's who is talking to us right now. Take a look at how this informant spoke to us in the Discord messages. Hello again. We need a favor. We believe you may have been compromised. We need a favor. We gave you instructions. Can't say specifics, but we are making
This is crazy.
noise.
I didn't-
Did you catch it? I
What?
should hope so. I was putting emphasis on the word. Or was all my theater training for naught? The person behind the Playtime Co account is
Who?
referring to themselves as we. They are using plural
Oh, the
pronouns,
prototype.
something we've seen before
The
back in
prototype.
Project Playtime. We understand. You desire answers. You wonder who we are. It was your doing that made us. And due to lines like that
prototype?
about how we helped to make whoever this is, we have suspected for a long time that this person speaking to us in plurals is the creature we know that is made up of multiple beings, or toys. 1006.
The prototype.
Prototype. prototype. That's right, theorists. The one that has been revealing the truth about Harley, helping us to understand this threat that awaits us. The one I'm telling you all to trust for this upcoming chapter is the villain I've been telling you not to trust since my very first video. Now, don't
Wow.
get me wrong.
This is
I'm not
crazy
playing
cool.
the classic game theory villain was the hero card here. Remember what he did to his last partner?
Kill him.
I
Yeah.
still don't trust 1006, but previously we spoke about how our player character is likely PW, a biologist that worked for Playtime Co. that wrote the notes we see in the orientation notebook. Due to him having the same birthday that Bunzo Bunny mentions in Chapter 2,
I know when your birthday is. June 28th.
and how the smiling critter cutouts seem to associate us with screaming, because PW was the one that helped experiment on them.
Hey, I remember you.
Oh, poor Bubba.
We concluded that the reason Poppy was leading us further into the factory was because she and the prototype needed us to help finish creating whatever the prototype's final form will be. But that's the key. The prototype needs us alive. And so they've shared this information because they know how dangerous Harley is, and they need our help to stop him.
I wonder how
once
we are
and
going to
for
defeat
all.
Harley
And so
Sawyer.
I believe 1006 is going to be doing what they can to help us survive, giving us a heads up about Harley's mentality during this ARG, and then as the totally not Gregory voice over the phone during Chapter 4.
I don't want you to die, so I'm gonna.
I can't believe they got the
It
same
may
voice
not be
actor.
the most reliable partnership, and after Harley is defeated, all bets are off. But if
Mhm.
Harley truly is as deranged as the Joker, I'm not really sure we have any other choice. I guess the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
I was about to say the same exact thing, but he beat me to it.
At least for now. But I've got my eye on you, so you'd better remember, that's just a theory. A game theory! Thanks for watching.
Not gonna lie, this was a great video, like 100%. Like, I did not really think of the Harley Joker stuff until this video, and that makes so much sense. This is so much sense. This makes so much sense. Oh my gosh, this made me so excited for Chapter 4 so much. I cannot wait for it. So for now, thank you all for watching this, and I'll see you whenever I post next. Bye, guys.